Welcome back to another episode of Love, Sex, LA Unfiltered, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone celebrating. I know that the holidays can either be the most exciting, most fun, greatest time of the year for some, and it can also be the hardest and the loneliest for others, right? But today we are going to focus on gratitude, right? And using gratitude to manifest the things we want in our life, to open doors that we, dream of having open to us. So no matter what you're going through today, no matter how good or bad, today we're going to focus on the good. We're going to focus on gratitude, and we're going to find things to be thankful for, because even in the midst of the chaos, I'm telling you, there's always something to be grateful for, right? Even the little things we don't realize that we have and that maybe we didn't realize we took for granted until it was taken from us or we go without it, right? So today we're going to focus on manifesting through gratitude and giving thanks for the things we do have today. And I'm so excited to celebrate Thanksgiving with you guys. So often in life, it's really easy to focus on the negative, to look at the glass half empty, to think about things that maybe we don't have or we want to have and haven't accomplished yet, whether it's a relationship, a career, or maybe you thought you'd be married with 3 kids by 30, right? And you're not there yet. But there's always something to be grateful for. And today we're going to focus on those things, because you can't invite more into your life without being grateful for the things you already have. And like I said, no matter how big or small, no matter the size of what it is, there's always something to be grateful for, right? So I thought I would start off this episode with a little exercise, okay? And what I want you to do is, first, I want you to take a deep breath. In through your nose, let it out. It's what we call a sacred breath. My friend Sabrina Zohar, I had her on the podcast. She taught me about that. And it's to really just regulate your nervous system, right? So I want you to start off by taking a breath and close your eyes. Okay. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of 3 things that you're really grateful for. Okay. I mean, it could be that maybe you have a friend who you're able to vent to. Not everyone has a good friend that they can talk to. Maybe it's maybe you have your health. Maybe last year you went through health issues and this year you have your health, right? Maybe it's just the fact that you have a roof over your head, okay? Whether you are with people this Thanksgiving, with your family, your friends, your loved ones, or maybe you're at home and you're kind of feeling lonely, there's always something to focus on that you can be grateful for, right? So I want you to focus on those things right now. Close your eyes, take a breath, think of 3 things you're grateful for. I mean, even at the end of the day, there's people out there that wish they had a toothbrush. There's people out there that, wish they could just practice, normal hygiene, and you might have those things, right? So focus on the things that you have and that are in your control and that you can be grateful for. So think of those 3 things. Now, with your eyes still closed, I want you to think of a door. I want you to think of one door that when you open it, what you dream of, a goal, whatever it is, there is that special something behind that door, okay? I want you to visualize it. And I want you to visualize yourself grabbing the knob to that door, opening it up, and the thing that you want most right now, it's right behind that door. It's within your grasp, within your reach. And now I want you to give thanks for that, because when you practice having gratitude for things before you even have them, that's when you invite them into your life. So you've opened the door, you see the thing that you want behind it, and you're grateful for it. Now open your eyes, okay? I think it's so important to practice gratitude and just be thankful for things we have and be grateful for the things that you want to have before you even have them. And, so much of the time, like I said, we focus on the negative. It's so easy to do. And, we compare, right? I think a big problem with why we kind of lose perspective and lose that gratitude is because, they say comparison is the thief of joy. And that stands so true, especially because, I don't know, if you're like the rest of us, you're chronically online and you see people's, the highlights of their lives, right? And you see all the things they have, but you don't see the negative things too. Everyone has stuff going on in their life. Everyone has things that, could be difficult to handle, sick family members or, financial issues, whatever it is, people go through things. Everyone does. So no matter what you're seeing online and, comparing yourself to, or maybe you just don't have the life you wanted, or maybe you need to be grateful for leaving a negative situation. Maybe you need to, behind that closed door, you opened, the door to you walking away from a toxic relationship. Some of us, or some people, are seeking a relationship, or, seeking something like a family, but others, maybe behind that door is leaving a toxic relationship, situationship, whatever it is, right? So whatever it is, I want you to be grateful because it's already happened and it's going to happen to you. Because if it's in your heart, there's a version of yourself that's already achieved this. It's already has this, right? Our words and thoughts are so powerful. And when you allow yourself to focus on the good and see the good in things and think about the good in things, no matter what you're going through, because listen, we all go through things, that's when you invite new things into your life and the things you want into your life. And maybe things that you didn't even know you wanted appear into your life, right? Like I said, our words are so powerful. So I want you to practice, using your words and your thoughts and, practicing gratitude to achieve the things you want. So, say to yourself, I am grateful for the career I have. Even if you don't have it yet, that's when you have to say it, right? Because that's when you invite it in. Or I'm so grateful that I am in my dream relationship with my dream human who treats me exactly how I want and deserve, right? And vice versa. So, and that's when you achieve it. Or like I said earlier, maybe it's that you need to leave a situation, leave a relationship or a friendship or whatever it is. And so you're practicing saying to yourself, I am so grateful that I was strong enough to walk away from that person and not look back. Even if it hurt, even if it stings, I was able to walk away, right? Because we have to be grateful for things in order for them to come into fruition, which can be so difficult because a lot of the time we look and we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And, like I said, some people it's difficult during the holidays. You might be lonely, you might be going through things. I look back at my life a year ago and, I was going through things and, sometimes it is. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You think this is never going to end, whatever. But let me tell you, you have to remember in life, whether you're going through good things or bad things, that nothing lasts forever, right? Nothing lasts forever, not the good, not the bad, right? Time keeps going, time keeps ticking. And that's the thing. So if you are at a point in your life where you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm exactly where I want to be, I'm so happy, you have to remember not to take that for granted, right? Because you prayed for this moment, you spoke this moment into existence, and God, the universe gave it to you. So don't take it for granted. And the same goes if you're going through a hardship or you're going through something difficult in life, right? And it doesn't have to, I know we're a dating podcast, but it doesn't have to be just about dating and relationships. It can be about, careers, health issues, like I said, or maybe you're just alone this holiday season. Maybe you missed your flight and you can't be with your family now on Thanksgiving, whatever it is. And you have to remember that those things end too. Bad things always come to an end and there's good on the other side of that. So like I said, being grateful and never taking the good for granted and remembering the bad won't last forever. That's what you have to do to manifest the things you want into your life, the people into your life, the situations and goals you have for yourself into your life. And as I mentioned earlier, don't compare yourself to other people. Don't compare yourself to their highlight reels and the things you see online and the things that you think they have or their happiness, maybe you envy someone's just like peace of mind and happiness or whatever it is that you see online. You can't compare. The only person you can compare yourself to is the person you were before, right? And the only way to evolve and change and grow and enhance yourself from the person you were before is to step into your true power by being grateful, moving forward, and not allowing stagnant situations and hard situations to let you, sink in quicksand, right? So I think that's really important to remember this holiday season. And like I said, it could be hard or it could be really easy for some, right? So we just have to remember where we're at in our life and know that you can't take anything for granted. And, we all go through, difficult things. And I'll use a dating example, a personal example I went through in a dating situation since, like I said, this is a dating podcast. So we're going to stick to the core of what we are. But there's obviously way more complicated things, not to discredit that a relationship can't hurt you, right? But, like I said, there's obviously things that are way more difficult than just like a breakup or a situation that didn't pan out, right? So I was, God, what was this? Like maybe a year ago or something. 2 years ago, it was during a phase where I was like really into older guys, which by the way, that was a fun phase. There was a lot of like caviar involved in that. So that was fun. A lot of champagne and caviar. But anyway, I was seeing this guy And I really liked him. He was successful. There was a connection. There was like a magnetism, whatever it was. And, you know, I wanted things to work out. I didn't want just like something casual, right? And we were seeing each other. But, you know, at the end of the day, I wasn't going to put up with, you know, things being just on their timing, things just being casual, whatever it is. And so things kind of like fell apart, not in like a bad way. It wasn't like this like horrible falling out, but I was really upset, right? Because I thought like, oh my gosh, this could maybe be someone I end up with, right? And now that I look back, I'm like, that was absolutely not someone I would have ended up with or liked in the long run. But anyway, in the moment, my head was somewhere else. So, you know, things didn't work out. And I was really upset at first, right? And, you know, I have 3 sisters, so they're kind of like my unofficial shrinks. And, you know, I vent to them. I talk to them. I have good friends that I could talk to also, something I could be grateful for, right? Not everyone has that. Not everyone has a support system. But so, you know, in the moment I was upset, but then I started to find myself, you know, reflecting on the situation. And I'm like, I am so lucky and I am so grateful that that situation didn't work out. Like I said, that person was kind of just part of a phase. And can you imagine letting your phase be the person that you end up with, right? And, you know, so as, you know, time went on, I reflected. I thought, I'm so grateful this didn't work out. I could have never ended up with that person, right? And then a few months later, I met someone who I actually had like a really, really good connection with and who I really cared about and liked. And, you know, I thought about it afterward. I'm like, if that situation didn't end with that other person, I would have never met this person. And like, mind you, the situation with the new person did not work out either, but I learned a lot from it, right? And that's what we have to be grateful for too when it comes to dating and relationships and modern dating. We have to be grateful for the lessons we take from different relationships and from different people. And even if things don't work out, they lead us to the next part of our life. And I think that's really, really crucial to remember because so much of the time, like I said, we focus on it didn't work out though. Oh my gosh, I wasted so much time. Or, you know, I have this deadline for myself. I want to be married by this age and kids by this age. And I wasted time with this person and it didn't work out. So now I have to find someone new. But that's not the case. You have to be grateful for the times you shared with a person and the things they showed you. Maybe, you know, you showed them something that they needed to learn in life, right? And take those lessons with you. Be grateful for the situation because there's always a learning lesson and it always can serve as a stepping stone to the next, right? You know, like I said, I was in a situationship before the conception of Love Sex LA, right? And it was kind of as a toxic situationship, whatever. But you know, I was really upset afterward. I was, but that situationship served as the catalyst for the conception of Love Sex LA, which then, you know, expanded into this podcast. And I'm like, each thing you go through in life, you have to look at them as like, no matter how good or bad it seems, those are the stepping stones that are going to lead you to where you actually want to be, right? That catapult you into your true purpose in life. And I always say that because I think it's so important to remember and it can be very easy to forget, right? So listen, this Thanksgiving, like I said, the holidays, they can be so fun. They're so filled with food and family and all that. And for some, though, it might not be like that. So no matter where you're at, you have to really focus on the things you can be grateful for and the things that you anticipate having in your future, the things you want to manifest. Be grateful for them because, like I said, there's a version of you that already has those things. If you believe it, if it's in your heart, you already have them. There's a version of you, a future version of yourself that already has it. It's within grasp. It's just a matter of timing. And sometimes the universe sends us down different, you know, paths to get there, but you do get there, right? So today, I think, is a day full of thanks. Like I said, I keep repeating myself. We'll keep this episode short because it's the holiday and you want to go enjoy food with your family, your friends, your loved ones, or maybe you just want to like hang out on your couch and watch, I don't know, Vampire Diaries or something. I'm really into Vampire Diaries right now. Oh my gosh, it's bad. It's a bad like addiction, right? And I do have to say I'm Team Damon. And I will never settle, by the way, after watching that show because I'm like, the way Damon loves Elena, like that is a love you deserve. I deserve, right? So anyway, I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to you guys. If you are with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, go enjoy food, go spend time with them. Don't take any moment for granted. It could be taken from you in a second and find things to be grateful for. And on the other side of that, if you're at home, just kind of cozied up by yourself, maybe you're feeling lonely, I want you to remember next year, you're going to look back and everything that you're going through, you're going to be like, wait a minute, I came out of that okay. I can guarantee you and I can promise you that. But if you're at home, if you are alone, order yourself a good Postmates, order a good meal, cozy up, right? And like I said, find things to be grateful for and manifest the things that you want to be grateful for in the future by being grateful for them right now. So again, thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I hope you have a great holiday. And thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. See you next week.